Pay Josh Allen. Now, before we get into this video is sponsored by BetUS. Guys, Super Bowl 58 is next weekend, and if you guys want different inside info and picks from award-winning sports bettors, guys, they actually have a YouTube channel called NFL Picks and Predictions brought to you by BetUS. I have that channel linked down in my description box below. And on here very soon, guys, I'll actually be breaking down some Super Bowl prop bets for you guys. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can bet on. The Super Bowl is kind of one of the more fun things to bet on every year. I mean, you can go the standard route of who's going to win the Super Bowl. You know, you can, of course, do the coin toss or how long the national anthem is. And there's also 15 different Taylor Swift-related prop bets for you guys. And I mentioned Taylor Swift because apparently mentioning Taylor Swift gets a lot more views. So, you know, maybe that'll shoot this video out to the moon. But in all seriousness, anything you can think of to make a bet on in the Super Bowl, it's all there for you. And BetUS is the best place to do it, guys. I have a 125% deposit bonus for you guys right down below. So if you drop $100, you're going to see $225 show up in your account. They have 24/7 customer service, and all payouts are issued within 24 hours. So thank you to BetUS for sponsoring this video. And now let's talk about Josh Allen. Now, there were very few good things that came from Twitter guru Trent Baalke's press conference last week. But there was one good thing, and that is that he said that Josh Allen will be a Jaguar next year. So, yeah, woohoo, let's go. Let's lock him down. However, it was quickly reported that Josh Allen's camp was not happy with the way Trent Baalke kind of talked about Josh Allen because according to Josh Allen's camp, you know, they are out here ready, willing, and wanting to start negotiations, but Trent Baalke has not reached out to them. So that's a little bit annoying. So what this most likely leads to is that he's going to get a franchise tag. That's what it's looking like because, look, it's going to be a big contract from him. And with something like this, you would like to get the ball rolling early, but the season has ended, you know, almost a month ago now. And since nothing has gone on, I think they're in a situation where maybe they're sitting back, doing a reset, trying to construct a roster a little bit, see what players to cut, what players want to go out there in free agency. Of course, the Senior Bowl is going on right now. Pretty soon the Combine will be here. Free agency comes by, and what the Jaguars will most likely do is do the franchise tag the similar to way in the last 2 years. The Jaguars have given out 2 franchise tags the past 2 seasons in 2022 and 2023, but neither of those players played on their franchise tag. You know, they gave a franchise tag to left tackle Cam Robinson. He wound up signing an extension with the Jaguars in April. And then with Evan Ingram last season, right, I think at the last day he could sign a new deal, like 4 or 5 months after signing the franchise tag, he was given a new contract by the Jaguars. So that's what's most likely going to happen. But in my opinion, I mean, I think Josh Allen's contract should honestly be easier than, you know, Evan Ingram or Cam Robinson, because with Cam Robinson, you're talking about signing an average left tackle who maybe a handful of teams would want starting for them. You know, with Evan Ingram, the contract is tricky with that one because, you know, tight ends always want to get paid more. And when Evan Ingram says, look, you signed Christian Kirk on the same roster for all this money, what, $20 million a year to play slot receiver. I am in a lot of aspects of slot receiver. Why is the contract, the contract delta between me and him so much different? Well, you know, unfortunately, it's not the team, it's the league. You know what I mean? Once one team gives out a big fat contract to a tight end, then I think more will start to do it. But for now, this is what the market is, unfortunately, for tight ends. But fortunately for slot receivers. So that contract is tricky. With Josh Allen's, it really shouldn't be tricky at all. I mean, this guy was a complete game record for the Jaguars, 17.5 sacks on the season. That is more than anybody out there could have predicted. And it's impossible to predict what kind of contract he'll get. I imagine 4 to 5 years. You know, I imagine $22+ million per year, something like that. You know, plenty of bonus incentives. I mean, this is the guy. He's a game record, and you want to lock up your game records because guess what? If you let Josh Allen walk, there's nothing you can do to replace his production. There's literally nothing you can do unless you want to give 3 first-round picks for like a Nick Bosa or something like that. I mean, there's nothing out there that's any kind of upgrade. And you especially look at the Jaguars. Look, the third best edge rusher on the team was Caleb Chason. He got 2 sacks this season. We have very little edge rushers outside of Trayvon Walker, and actually, I can say that we have no edge rushers outside of Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen, because our other edge rushers, Caleb Chason and DeJuan Smoot, not only were they not very good for the Jaguars this year, but they're both free agents coming up. So, and Josh Allen, look, he's number 2 on ESPN's top 50 free agents. And, like I said, there's no replacing him, and make him a career Jaguar. I was in TIAA Everbank Stadium when we drafted him at Daly's place. It was an awesome moment. We'll never forget it. And, that's the kind of thing where bring him back, make him a career Jaguar. He loves Jacksonville. He wants to be the Jaguars the rest of his career. So make it happen. Make it happen. Don't get cute with it. Don't let these guys walk out the door. And I don't expect them to. I'm not a huge fan of Trent Baalke. I don't think he's the greatest GM, but I don't think he's dumb enough to, allow somebody like this to walk. So that's what I think. But I will say the franchise tag does get a little tricky here, because I know before the season, I was kind of going into, I guess before the offseason, I should say, I was kind of going into the offseason saying, hey, we should give the franchise tag to Ridley and give Josh Allen an extension. But if you're giving a franchise tag to Josh Allen, now I'm kind of out on Ridley, because if you give Ridley a multi-year deal, you're going to go from giving up a 3rd-round pick to a 2nd-round pick. And I'm not really comfortable with that. I was more along the lines of, let's give Calvin Ridley a franchise tag. Let us get younger at receiver. Go draft the receiver in the draft, because right now there's not a lot of really young receivers on the Jaguars roster. Look, Trent Baalke in his Jaguars career, in his 3 years as a Jaguars GM, has only drafted 2 wide receivers. One was Jalen Camp in 2021 in like the 6th or 7th round. He didn't even wind up making the active roster. And then you also have Parker Washington, who was like a day 3 pick. So very, very little actual investments in young guys. And you look at the roster, I mean, Christian Kirk, a great player. He's on a big deal. Zay Jones, are we going to keep him? Calvin Ridley, he's going to get some money in free agency, I would imagine. And, teams are going to want him. That's how teams are with receivers. And that's a spot where we got to figure out what we're going to do there. And we got to get younger. We got to start investing draft capital in that position, because, Trevor Lawrence needs to start to learn and grow with some players. That's just how it is. So, yeah, I think that now Ridley might be on his way out. I mean, it very well could be. And it's unfortunate just because I had a lot of expectations of him, but he was a little bit disappointing. And this is what it is. I mean, you got to make some tough decisions, and that's going to be a tough decision to make. And one that, we got to evaluate what's going to make our roster better. But I feel like I'm rambling. Appreciate you guys for watching this video. Shout out to BetUS. 125% deposit bonus down below. Please drop a like for me on this stream. Comment down below if you guys want to keep Josh Allen. And with all that said, thanks for watching. Go Jags.